In 2019, a virus jumped from a bat to humans. This happened in a market in the city of Wuhan, China. This virus, which came to be known as COVID-19, spread and infected the world in unprecedented ways. As of January 2021, more than 2 million people all over the world have died because of this virus. Knowledge slowly started increasing on protection, treatment and management of the disease. But the critical need was to develop a vaccine. The greatest scientific minds across the world started work on this. In India too, the scientific community started work on developing an indigenous vaccine. How did India manage to develop a vaccine in this time frame? How effective is this vaccine? And would it finally manage to bring the country back to normalcy? The COVID-19 coronavirus knocked our world off its axis. Months into the pandemic, the realization dawned that we would not return to anything approaching normal, that is life without social distancing, quarantines, masks, school closures and other control measures until most of the world has been vaccinated against the virus. And so, the question in everyone's mind, how fast could a vaccine be ready? Under normal circumstances, making a vaccine can take up to 10 to 15 years. This is because of the complexity of vaccine development. The fastest any vaccine had previously been developed, from viral sampling to approval, was 4 years, for mumps in the 1960s. To hope for one even by the summer of 2021 seemed highly optimistic. But these are not normal times. However, and a vaccine for the COVID-19 virus became the focus of unprecedented research efforts worldwide. One advantage, scientists have been studying coronaviruses for over 50 years. This meant they had existing data on the structure, genome and life cycle of this type of virus. Some teams were already working on vaccines for SARS and MERS, both diseases caused by other coronaviruses. Some of these were already in a clinical trial phase. In addition, by January 2020, Chinese scientists had found and published the genetic sequence of novel coronavirus, which did help researchers around the world. In all, there were over 100 research groups working on developing this vaccine. In India alone, 6 major companies along with various Indian research institutes started working on this. India has always been a global leader in vaccine manufacturing. With the new focus on the country's journey to self-sufficiency or Atmanirbharta, the stress on developing an indigenous vaccine became more pronounced. To speed up this process, the Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR, National Institute of Virology NIV, joined hands with Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech to try and get a vaccine out in time. Bharat Biotech is a pioneering biotechnology company that has made several breakthroughs in medical science in the past. This includes the world's first typhoid conjugate vaccine, the world's first vaccine for Zika virus, a recombinant hepatitis B vaccine, as well as some of the world's most affordable vaccines.
Our first significant factor is the hepatitis B vaccine. First we did, and I think the country is now eradicating the hepatitis B. The second is we're the largest producer of polio vaccine, and almost 65% of national immunization is supplied by us. Now country is eradicated polio, thanks to our polio program participation. Third program is the rotavirus vaccine. Now many children in India are saved of diarrheal death. And fourth important significant is the typhoid conjugate vaccine. And we were the first company in the world to develop a chikungunya and Zika vaccine. So that speaks our innovation capabilities as an Indian company.
So what type of vaccine would be developed here? Different vaccines are required for different viruses. The differences lie in whether they use a whole virus or bacterium, just the parts of the germ that trigger the immune system, just the genetic material that provides instructions for making specific proteins, or a toxin generated by the virus. The first kind are inactivated or killed vaccines. This type of vaccine contains the virus, which has been inactivated by the exposure to chemical, heat or radiation. The virus still has the ability to generate an immune response. These type of vaccines are currently being used for flu, polio and rabies. And then there are live attenuated vaccines. In this type of vaccine, living viruses are used in a weakened form. When this vaccine is given, the virus present in the vaccine starts replicating and amplifies the amount of antigens. The antigen then stimulates the immune response in the body and generated antibodies without getting infected. Live vaccines are currently being used for smallpox, chickenpox and measles. Then there are subunit and conjugate vaccines. Both subunit and conjugate vaccines contain only pieces of the pathogens they protect against. Subunit vaccines use only part of a target pathogen to provoke a response from the immune system. The subunits may be proteins or sugars. These vaccines are used for hepatitis B and whooping cough. And then there are toxoid vaccines. These vaccines use a toxin or harmful product, which is made by the germ that causes the disease. They create immunity to the parts of the germ that causes a disease instead of the germ itself. That means the immune response is targeted to the toxin instead of the whole germ. These are used in the cases of diphtheria and tetanus. Bharat Biotech's Covaxin is an inactivated virus vaccine. The company has a strong track record of developing this kind of vaccine. There are some big advantages in using inactivated vaccines. These are proven to be extremely safe as they don't contain any live components. They can be given to special populations such as infants, pregnant women, and the geriatric population. They also ensure stability for long-term storage and are technically feasible to produce with fewer regulatory hurdles for licensing. They cater to the requirement of current healthcare environment where focus is on reducing costs while improving overall patient care. Work started here on developing the coronavirus vaccine using a virus strain that was isolated from the National Institute of Virology, Pune. This was sent to Bharat Biotech in May 2020. The virus strain was isolated using the throat swabs of the initial 3 patients in India who contracted COVID-19, all from Kerala, students from Wuhan in China.
COVID vaccine started only in May of 2020. So we were a little delayed in our getting virus strains and other characterizations and all that. But into May, we started the program and we caught up. But again, we had a lockdown issues in the country. And so getting reagents and all got delayed.
Let us track some of the key processes that came into play in the development of this vaccine. The first step is the preparation of the buffer. Buffers are used in the manufacturing process of some vaccines. These buffers are basically stabilizer compounds that are used to help vaccine maintain its effectiveness during storage. To do this, reagents are filled and mixed in stainless steel vessels at a set temperature. These then pass through different pipes to a filter to create a pure mix of reagents. In the media preparation room, nutrients, serum concentration, and other growth factors are added and mixed in an optimized way to support the proper growth of virus in a cell culture. This acts as the medium on which the virus will grow. This media is then transferred to the cell and virus culture room. Here, the cells taken from their in-house cell bank are allowed to grow in an artificial media preparation. Then the cultured cells are infected with the virus. For the continuous cell culture, special cells which are obtained from an African green monkey called verocells are used. The next step is to harvest the virus to make the vaccine. In Bharat Biotech, the idea was to create an inactivated virus vaccine. In this type of virus, it is important to deactivate the RNA. Otherwise, the RNA can go into the cell, and here it has the capacity to multiply rapidly. To inactivate the RNA, a special chemical treatment is done using beta-propiolactone.
So now the virus cannot multiply in the human system. So you have exactly once your RNA knockout, it becomes inactivated vaccine. So body, when you give it to body, the body thinks a virus has come to the body. Virus infected to the human. But the advantage is these virus cannot multiply because inactivated. The RNA has been taken off from that. So when it is inactivated, so the body start recognizing, oh, a virus has come, now I need to produce immune response to this virus. It produces immune response, but not to neutralize this one. When you have a live infection comes to the human body, and immediately it recognizes that and knock off that viruses in the body. That's how the system works.
Then the sterilization and purification takes place, where the unwanted components are filtered out. Then a final stage of ingredients are added to the vaccine. Adjuvants is an ingredient used in some vaccines that helps create a stronger immune response in people receiving the vaccine. In other words, adjuvants help vaccines work better. Diluents are added not just to dissolve the vaccine, but help maintain volume, sterility, pH and chemical balance. Stabilizers are added to help the vaccine maintain its effectiveness during storage. Vaccine stability is essential, particularly when the cold chain is unreliable. This creation of the vaccine was complete. But would this vaccine be effective in preventing and reducing the impact of COVID-19? Would it be safe when used on humans? Right after the break, we explore the testing, manufacture and rollout of Covaxin. India Science Channel was launched in the year 2019 by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The internet-based dedicated science web channel is being implemented and managed by Vigyan Prasar, committed towards science communication. The channel features science documentaries, discussions on current topics, interviews and different programs covering the entire landscape of science and technology to make science popular among the masses.
India Science is a flagship project of Vigyan Prasar. And over a year and a half, we have produced more than 1,200 videos of different sizes, lengths, and are from different genre and for different domains for the people of the country. We've spoken, we've dived deep into the realms of different domains of science and technology, and we have gotten news, stories, films, videos in almost every format that you can think of. OTT, for that matter, is a great platform that helps anybody to look for any news, any item, any video, any documentary at any point in time. All you need to do is to subscribe a channel for it.
One can also download India Science mobile app from Google Play Store or Apple Store to view this channel. Once the vaccine started showing promise of being effective, the testing phase started. The first step in the process to test a vaccine in a lab on either a human cell or an animal, just to see if it causes any harm. This is called the preclinical phase. If it passes that test, it enters human trial. This is the longest and most important part. If it passes human trials, the vaccine gets licensed by regulators and can be manufactured and distributed to the public. Human trials typically have 3 phases, each one testing a larger and larger group of people. The vaccine developed at Bharat Biotech, Covaxin, received DCGI's approval for Phase 1 and 2 human clinical trials in July 2020. Phase 1 trials usually involve a very small group of people, mainly to test if the vaccine is safe. In this case, the vaccine was tested on 375 people. The trial data from this phase was published in the reputed medical journal, The Lancet, in January 2021. They reported that there were tolerable safety outcomes and enhanced immune responses and recommended further efficacy trials. Phase 2 usually involves few hundred participants. This is where we start learning if the vaccine actually works. In Phase 2 study for Covaxin, 380 participants of 12 to 65 years were enrolled. Phase 1 and Phase 2 clinical trials demonstrated safety and a good immune response. And then there was the final test, the Phase 3 trial. This is expensive, it takes time and requires thousands of volunteers. In November 2020, Bharat Biotech began the Phase 3 clinical trials of Covaxin in India, with approximately 26,000 participants across 26 sites in the country. This was done in partnership with ICMR.
Phase 3 trial is something called a community-based trial. In common terms, anybody and everybody in the communities can participate if they are willing to. It is a purely voluntary-based trial. So this is how the Phase 3 trial is being conducted.
Around this time, the vaccine started getting ready for dispatch. Packaging happened in a biosafety level 3 manufacturing unit, where glass vials were filled with vaccine. All this happened in a protected closed environment with a monitor temperature between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. The vaccine was filled and packed in the same facility to avoid outside exposure, after which it was sent for dispatch.
We have started manufacturing the product at about in the time of November because even the trial lots, the samples that are required for sending it to these trials to the centers have to be manufactured in the GMP facilities and not in a lab setting. So I think almost from November, we were ready for larger volumes getting prepared, produced, so that at a given point of time when the distribution has to start, we should have at least millions and millions of doses available to be distributed or to be sent to the authorities for the distribution, especially now that the vaccine rollout has started.
How would the approval for Covaxin happen in India? How was India planning its vaccination drive? How would the vaccine be safely transported across the nation? And what systems are in place to make sure that billions were vaccinated? All this and more after the break. India Science Channel was launched in the year 2019 by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The internet-based dedicated science web channel is being implemented and managed by Vigyan Prasar, committed towards science communication. The channel features science documentaries, discussions on current topics, interviews and different programs covering the entire landscape of science and technology to make science popular among the masses.
India Science is a flagship project of Vigyan Prasar. And over a year and a half, we have produced more than 1,200 videos of different sizes, lengths, and are from different genre and for different domains for the people of the country. We've spoken, we've dived deep into the realms of different domains of science and technology, and we have gotten news, stories, films, videos in almost every format that you can think of. OTT, for that matter, is a great platform that helps anybody to look for any news, any item, any video, any documentary at any point in time, all you need to do is to subscribe a channel for it.
One can also download India Science mobile app from Google Play Store or Apple Store to view this channel. Around the world, different vaccines were also being approved. In December 2020, the Pfizer vaccine with a 95% efficacy was approved by the FDA for emergency use. Quite soon after, the Moderna vaccine was also authorized. Russia had come up with Sputnik V. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine started getting used in the UK and Argentina from December 2020. By January 2021, India approved a version called Covishield made by the Serum Institute of India. Around this time, while the Phase 3 trials were still underway, in January 2021, the Bharat Biotech vaccine got approvals from the Drug Controller General of India for restricted use in emergency situation. Soon after, the Central Licensing Authority gave Bharat Biotech the go-ahead to manufacture and distribute the vaccine for emergency use. This green light raised concerns from several critics who believed that approving the Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine for restricted use is premature and can prove dangerous. The company, however, is confident that the vaccine is ready and safe to use. They also promised that all the Phase 3 data would be released by February or March 2021.
No, it won't affect the quality of the vaccine because pandemic vaccines have to be rolled out less than 12 months. We have done it before in 2009 for H1N1, which was commonly called swine flu. So we have had a vaccine for the country made within 12 months or 18 months time frame. The quality will not be affected at all because we have chosen the safest platform technology, the ViroCell platform technology, to be deployed in Covaxin.
The Covaxin vaccine is given in 2 doses 4 weeks apart. The way most vaccines work, the first shot helps your body recognize the virus and gets your immune system ready, while the second shot strengthens that immune response. This makes your body more prepared to fight infection. After getting the first shot, there is usually a gap since it can take up to a few weeks for your body to develop the cells that will make you immune. India was ready to kickstart her ambitious vaccination campaign, which aimed to inoculate 300 million citizens. 2 vaccines would be used, Covaxin, the one developed by Bharat Biotech, and Covishield, the Indian variant of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. In preparation for this, Bharat Biotech had a stockpile of 20 million doses of Covaxin and was targeting to make 700 million doses out of its 4 facilities in 2 cities by the end of the year. A key part of any vaccination drive is the actual transport of the vaccine. This is known as cold chain. The cold chain consists of a series of links that are designed to keep vaccines within WHO recommended temperature ranges from the point of manufacture to the point of administration. From the manufacturer to the health center, vaccines need to be kept at specific temperatures to retain their potency. In excessive heat, light or cold, vaccines can be damaged.
Covaxin is a 2 to 8 degree stable vaccine and it can be maintained in that temperature. 2 to 8 degrees means it is the fridge temperature. So it is in that temperature that the Covaxin is going to be maintained and shipped across India and also to the other parts of the world. So that's how it will be done.
How will India manage this vaccination drive for its population of 130 crores? Well, it will draw on its experiences of holding elections to conduct the vaccination drive. The Ministry of Home Affairs has even requested the Election Commission (EC) to share the latest electoral roll data for Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly elections to identify people belonging to the priority groups.
We went scheduled time. They gave me a prick. They asked me questions. Did you, in fact, before they asked me, I told them I am diabetic and I am BP. They said, are you all right today? How's your BP? Do you want me to get it checked? I said, I'm all right. I went for my walk in the morning. I'm fine. Today's the second day. Yesterday at this time only, I got the vaccination done.
A detailed plan has been worked out to transport the vaccine, keeping all protocols in place from the manufacturers to airports and then to 4 primary vaccine stores at Karnal, Chennai, Kolkata and Mumbai. From these primary vaccine stores, the vaccine will be transported to 37 state centers in refrigerated vans where each state will have minimum 1 center. It is an ambitious plan, and whatever the worries about speeding up the process of approvals, the fact that India has managed to develop an indigenous vaccine in this time frame is something to be proud of. The partnership between 2 stellar institutions, ICMR, NIV and Bharat Biotech, played a big role in the success of this endeavor. It also demonstrated that our scientific prowess matches the rest of the world, that we have the capacity to be truly Atmanirbhar.
Now, Prime Minister has got a vision. We are a part of a small drop in the ocean in that process. And I think every startup in this country also dreams of that, to achieve that. And being part of that, we are proud of that. And I think truly virus isolated from India, manufactured in India, now preclinical, clinical done in India. Now it's going to clinical trial in other part of the world and truly helping the world.
India has also shown great generosity in the way she has shared vaccines with other countries. Millions of vaccines have been airlifted to countries extending from Myanmar and Bangladesh to Mauritius and the Seychelles. This gesture is also powered by India's enormous vaccine manufacturing prowess. India supplies more than 60% of the world's vaccines against various diseases. This journey has shown the power of Indian science, the ability to condense and speed up the process of creating the vaccine, and the ability to share with the world what is made in India. Our vaccine journey has clearly shown how self-sufficient, Atmanirbhar, we truly are.